Get some popcorn and tissues, people. Meredith Grey's leaving the Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital after 19 whole years, and I'm sure all of you Grey's Anatomy fans are in for one emotional farewell. Yes, Ellen Pompeo's Grey's Anatomy farewell is finally here. The ABC medical drama will return in February with a mid-season premiere that includes the starring actress Ellen Pompeo's send-off. The synopsis for the fated and dreaded episode reveals that it will feature Grey Sloan Memorial as it celebrates Meredith Grey's departure while she says farewell to Seattle, explaining that since it was going to be Meredith's last day at the hospital, naturally all the doctors were planning a goodbye surprise. But at the same time, Nick confronts her about the future of their relationship as well. Meredith seems wistful in the trailer for the show's mid-season premiere, saying that Grey Sloan was where she learned to be a doctor. It was where she'd found her family, the place where she had fallen in love. She also added a bit of philosophy into the mix, stating that sometimes change is good, sometimes change is everything. Meredith's colleagues and friends can also be seen gathering around to send her off with a champagne toast. She also teases Owen, telling him that she'd probably be back in the hospital next week. It appears that the episode, titled Meredith's Farewell to Seattle, isn't actually going to be her last episode. During an appearance on The Drew Barrymore Show back in December, Pompeo revealed that they had filmed almost 6 or 7 episodes, and that once the winter hiatus is over, she'd be appearing in one more episode and then also in the season finale. But even though she won't be seen on screen anymore, she'll remain with the series behind the cameras as an executive producer and narrator. The Boston native shared a heartfelt message to fans of the series back in November during the fall mid-season finale, which seemed to indicate that Meredith had decided to leave Seattle. To be honest, after 400 episodes of performing surgeries, surviving natural disasters, escaping active shooters, and going through more relationships than Taylor Swift, it's about time for Meredith to finally move on from Grey Sloan. But that still begs the real question, right? Where is Meredith going after she leaves? Earlier this season, we saw Meredith looking for schools for gifted children, including one based in Boston. Some eagle-eyed fans were quick to notice that this just so happened to be exactly where Jackson and the Avery Foundation were based. Also, Jackson has offered her a job researching a cure for Alzheimer's as well, which is especially important to her since it was the disease that killed her mother. Meredith has also explained that her eldest daughter, Zola, kept having panic attacks partly due to the young prodigy's research on Alzheimer's. Back during one of the fall episodes, she even revealed to Jackson that Zola was afraid she and Maggie might get it as well, adding that therapy didn't seem to be enough for her fears. However, Jackson didn't think that her concerns were ridiculous and offered her a job, saying that maybe all of the pieces of her life were coming together and that she might be having a breakthrough rather than a breakdown. Okay, so now that we know that Meredith has probably secured plans for her future, I'm pretty sure there's one more question on our minds. What will happen to her relationship with Nick? And I'm pretty sure even Nick would like to know the answer to that question. Since Meredith hadn't consulted her boyfriend before deciding to move across the country, it seems like an important discussion is left to be had. While Nick understands that her decision concerns what's best for Zola, he's understandably not very thrilled about the fact that Meredith didn't even so much as inform him about the big life change. But hey, we all know that the doctoress is far from a perfect person, as she's demonstrated quite a number of times over the course of the show. So how about this? Let's put all that sentimental hoo-ha on the side for now and take a look at the times Meredith was a total disaster. For instance, the time she ran away after Derek's death. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that she handled Derek's death pretty badly, and it almost ruined her relationship with everybody at the hospital. They were also Derek's friends, and people like Christina and Izzy were just as close to Derek as she'd been. So it especially sucked when she ignored all of her social connections after selling her house and leaving without telling anyone where she was headed. She was acting as if she was the only one who was hurt by Derek's death, as if their feelings didn't mean anything. Everyone was worried sick for the entire time that she was gone. And even when she did come back, she refused times to apologize to all of the people she'd hurt, including Amelia. However, Meredith hasn't just hurt her colleagues. Sometimes she even ended up hurting their patients. Remember the time she caused Lexi to permanently damage her patient? Meredith was a terrible big sister. She treated all her siblings like trash. It felt as if she blamed them for the poor parenting she received, which was just unfair. While Lexi stepped on her toes multiple times, including when she fell for Derek, Meredith failed to act like an adult. She misadvised Lexi, causing her to remove the tumor in Lori Bosson against Derek's surgery plans, leading to the patient losing the ability to speak. Meredith then let Derek take the fall for the mistake, which felt like ruining his trial all over again. Her relationship with her actual family isn't any better either, as she's also treated Amelia very unfairly at times. Meredith seemed to be offended by her sister-in-law's very presence, even while Derek was alive. Plus, she deserved to know about Derek's death. However, Meredith decided to lash out at her instead, claiming that she had full authority over Derek's body because she was his wife. Even at the hospital, Meredith never recognized Amelia's efforts. It became worse when she was mean to her for dating Owen, even though he had already broken up with Christina. Amelia may not have been the best of sisters to Derek, but she was family and deserved just as much respect as Meredith's sisters. On the other hand, putting Meredith's hurtful behavior aside for now, she also liked to dabble in the dark side of the law, even going as far as to commit insurance fraud. Meredith was lots of things, but poor wasn't one of them, as she was one of the owners of the hospital. When Louise refused her help, she had the option of using the foundation or forcefully paying Gabby's bills without breaking the law. Instead, Meredith ignored Richard's warning and put her daughter's name in Gabby's place, putting both Gabby and Louise in trouble with the law for fraud. She could have lost her license and gone to prison, which would be a sad end to what was supposed to be an act of charity. It was another reckless decision she made that would have ruined other people's lives. But still, even that isn't the worst thing she has ever done on the show, because after all, this one was simply absurd. I'm pretty sure we all remember the time she asked to be shot. Meredith proved her point when she stood in between Gary Clark's bullet and Derek. But Derek wasn't the only person that needed saving at that time. She was pregnant and responsible for the baby's life too. Christina was already saving Derek's life, but no one would have saved Meredith and her baby if Clark didn't end up hitting Owen instead. She later lost the baby because of these events, and even Derek blamed her for it. She was a strong woman, but she chose the wrong time to play the hero. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? With that, that's all from me on the future and a bit of the past of the series. I hope to see you all soon in the next video.